What's goody? Should I put
What's
this?
up, everybody?
I should put it vertically, right?
No, whatever makes more sense for you. Yeah, all right, there you go. Um,
I like that outfit, man. Paco.
ah,
It says here, resiste,
Yeah,
challenge,
yeah,
persiste, keep
yeah.
going, full blast, and insist.
Let's do it.
Persiste, resiste, persiste, insiste.
Let's do it. Let's
All
do
we can
it.
do.
hello, everybody. Thanks for coming to the Entrepreneur Hour. I messed something up, so I'm gonna fix it during the show. I don't have the logo up there, but today we have two special guests. You've met Paco many times before. Paco, I've been talking about him as an investor, but he's really a social entrepreneur, and you'll hear more about that today. And we're talking to another huge social entrepreneur, Maurice Grullon of the Bronx native
What's
today.
up? What's up?
And many people know the Bronx native that may be watching the show. He has a huge following, creates great T-shirts, clothing for the Bronx. Yeah, there you go. I couldn't find mine. I was looking for that, but I couldn't find it. Um,
Yes.
but yeah. So today, like in every show, I talk about how I met a person, if I met them. Some people I've never met. So with you, I first met you at the Banknote building. You came in, I think, with Chris Mercado, right? You came with Chris Mercado, which you were on the show yesterday. You guys blew me up. Thank you.
Yeah.
So Chris was working with you, helping you with your business plan or something like that, right? Or he had helped you with scholarship
Yeah,
at first.
so I entered a pitch competition. It was called the 30-day pitch competition, and the goal of the competition was to create a business plan, to create an LLC, to create a strategy, and in the end of the 30 days, pitch your ideas. Excuse me, to investors and stuff like that. It was my first time doing any of that. So I met Chris. And he was mentoring me. He was helping me throughout the whole 30 days. And then I think one of the days there was a competition at the Banknote, and I happened to go, and you were there, and I connected with you, and I was like, damn, this guy. Right away I was like, let's meet, let's chat, I want to know what you're about, how can we work, how can we make this happen. And it just happened organically. We just met, we chatted, I think, here and there, and then from time to time we kept seeing each other, and then we and then until now.
Very cool. Yeah. So basically, I've been watching what Amadeus was doing, Bronx Native, and I loved. I immediately understood that he knew design at a level that was what it took to make a good clothing line. Like I think a lot of people come to clothing businesses and say, I just want to make a clothing line and not really understand how important the design aspect is. And I knew, since you went to SVA, great school. I also took classes there. I didn't graduate from there, but I knew that you knew design and you knew branding, and you're doing a good job. And at one point I came to you and I was like, your online game needs to get to the level that your brand is. So I
Yeah.
helped you with that. We put you online, and
Facts.
and
Yeah.
then you started to really do well online. You created this storefront before that, though, and you were doing very well with that. The way I always saw that was Bronx Native Store was not a retail location. It was an event space more than a store. Like you literally have parties, TV show, Netflix specials, everything out of there. So talk to people about you building Bronx Native and where it was before COVID, and now we'll talk about post COVID.
Definitely. So yeah, so for me, like you said, I graduated from BCC, Bronx Community College, with my graphic design associates. Then I went to SVA to get my bachelor's in design and film. And for me, branding and just the visual language and the way you showcase something through media content, design was very important. So in the initial states of Bronx Native, that was a very important factor for us, right? How do we create a visual language that has impact, that has a story that showcases a narrative that talks about a borough, a people, you know what I mean? So we definitely encapsulated that when it comes to Bronx Native and everything that we did. The shop came in 2017. We had a small shop in Mott Haven that started as a pop-up shop. And the idea was that we were just supposed to be there for 2 weeks, sell some merch, make it happen. But with that, we saw it as an opportunity to create an experience, right? And that was one of the biggest things for us, right? How do we create a space, an inclusive space, a platform, a cultural hub, an expressive location that when you go in, you feel an authentic Bronx experience, right? A place that not only sells merchandise, but becomes a place for the community, for the people, right? Open mics, community conversations, information sessions about financial literacy, having school trips, and how do we encapsulate all of these things in this shop? And that's exactly what we did. Every single day for 2 weeks, we had an event. We were literally open 24/7 for those 2 weeks, and it was crazy, but it was incredible. And we got the right engagement, we got the right audience, we got what we were looking for, right? And then we established ourselves as a permanent shop after those 2 weeks, because we did so good. And for about 2.5 years now, we've been utilizing the shop as this cultural hub, as this platform for artists, creatives, entrepreneurs, a place to connect, network, break bread, party, celebrate, have fun, and for the people to use it, and of course for us to sell our merchandise. And it's been a very essential part. I always when I started, and everybody don't do retail, the overhead, boom boom boom, all of this stuff, and I heard of that.
He's talking about me. He's talking about me.
No. Everybody.
I knew that.
And that's why I decided to do a very different approach. The people that own the location, they wanted to give me the keys ASAP. They said, here's the key, go sell your merch. And I said, no. You got to give me some time. We need 2 weeks to really situate the space, right? To visually create the space. We decided to have an interactive experience. Anyone that comes in could tag up the walls. We decided to, have a gallery. We decided to have memorabilia that showcases the Bronx. So it becomes more of a museum, an experience, and we, even before buying merch, we want people to go in the shop and experience and feel something. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I'm sure if you feel something,
it became a tourist spot, right? Like at the end of the day, it became a tourist spot. Like people literally would stop.
I don't want to say tourist spot, but yes, first it became for the people, but it has become, quote unquote, a tourist spot, a spot where it identifies the Bronx, and it's one of those spots that, like, if you come to the Bronx, you have to come to the Bronx Native Shop because it encapsulates what the Bronx truly is.
Sure. So that was all amazing. We we loved going to the parties, the events. We had AOC's first ever speaking engagement to the public about her running at the Bronx Native Shop. I spoke there. He was featured. They cut me out. He was featured on the Netflix documentary. His store. Were you on it too? You were on it?
I wasn't on it.
No, but your store was, right?
No. We weren't on it. So I think the Netflix started documenting her journey after that.
Okay.
So we weren't on it, but we were able to work with the campaign, with the advertisement campaign with Netflix.
Oh,
so
that's what you did. You made the
shirt. We had a screening, and it was a nice collaboration between Bronx Native, Netflix, and AOC.
Cool. So basically, it was already a landmark, right? We history was made there, right? So now, as soon as COVID hit, I reached out to a bunch of entrepreneurs. Amaury's being one. Paco had come up with this amazing idea already, saying, why not make Bronx Native more of a traveling location than just a retail location? So as soon as this happened, I was like, look, you may want to think about that idea, because a location right now is a little tough. But social distancing, this has lasted a lot longer than I expected, and it might last even longer than anyone expects because people don't want to stay home. So, all right, wait, we got some comments. Let's see what people are saying. Natalie Cruz, it was a great creation. Now I just need Bronx 718 hat. There you go, Marty. Made a sale.
Let's do it.
I have the shirt. All right, I already have the shirt. We love the spot. I've seen you at the Bronx Native Market. So okay, now post COVID, even now let's not go post COVID. Let's go COVID. Right now, any business with a retail location, restaurants, clothing brands, they're struggling. What are you doing in this pandemic to survive? I know you got something going.
Yeah, so when it comes to our connection and how we not started but recently how we started working was how do we take what we are doing in the shop and take it virtual, right? So we already started with your help taking the shop online. So we were already selling, we had the e-commerce, the Shopify, everything was set. But now that the shop is closed because of the lockdown, it kind of just forced me and us to go ham and full force with the online, heavy as much as possible. And that's what we've been doing. We've established, low key, my friend had an available basement. We established the Bronx Native Fulfillment Center.
Nice.
Right there. We took all the merch. There. We have a little table. We have a printer. Orders come in. We ship we print the label, we package the things, and send it to the post office. So we have a nice little system going on, utilizing third party e-commerce websites and apps and stuff like that. But a lot of it now is also just printed from us, so we can get most of the revenue and proceeds, right? And we have a nice little thing going on. So just we doubled down on our e-commerce website and on our social media, even though we were already going ham on social and stuff. We're doubling down on that. But even though, so what we saw was interesting in the beginning of COVID, when the lockdown happened, we were getting a lot of orders online, right? And we were good. Okay, this is good. The shop is closed, and we're still doing good. But since the quarantine has lasted longer, I think for people it's gotten more serious, and and unemployment and all these things. So the orders online have decreased, right? The shop, to be quite honest, it was about 50-50. When it comes to proceeds and revenue, we were making 50% online and 50% on the store. So the store being closed cut our proceeds in half already, and not online. But it doesn't mean that live and everyday life stops working, right? There's still rent, there's still payroll, there's still taxes, there's still all of these expenses that we still have to pay as a business. And it kind of just, COVID kind of just crippled us. Like, okay, now we're 50% lower. That's happening. Not a lot of people are buying online because of unemployment and all these things. So the more quarantine lasts, the more we're at risk of the shop being closed, right? There's no guarantee that there's going to be a tax for rent forgiveness, and that's one of the biggest overheads that we have at the moment, right? And we are backed up a couple of months. So what we did, it kind of just pushed us to the edge, and I said, you know what, we're gonna do a GoFundMe. We're going to ask the community. We're going to put it out there. Like, look, bruh, we're going through the situation, being very transparent, very vulnerable, just putting it all out there. We're going through the situation. And for us to be able to pass this struggle and this challenge, we will need some capital to deal with the rent, with the utilities, with all of these things that we're normally supposed to pay. So we have a GoFundMe right now. It's been active for 2 days.
I'm gonna link to it right now. I'm gonna link to it. You got $5,096 right now. Nice.
Yes. So we we've been received with a lot of love and a lot of support from a lot of people from the whole world, actually, right? People have been donating. In 2 days we've made $5K, and we've also, the online orders have been crazy. I think we've made close to 10K in 2 days because of
online orders.
The online orders, yeah. So
wow.
So people are not donating; they're buying online. So it's
got it. In a way, that's a donation. That's awesome.
Yeah, and that does help. So from the situation, and we'll be back in action, and this will go back to normal. We'll open up the shop and we're gonna throw a big celebration. You know.
All
For
right,
everybody.
I'm putting the link right now to the GoFundMe. Boom, it just went everywhere. All right, so okay, that's current COVID. GoFundMe to get you through this time. Like you spoke about earlier, me being so digital focused, I always think about the cost of overhead, right? And retail. And just the way technology is going and how like the Amazons of the world are just dominating retail and killing the mom and pops of the world. So that's always where the mindset I used to tell you came from. And also this, I've been around, this is my third recession. So I've seen them, you know, and I've seen the warning signs and I saw what happened when they happened. This one looks like it's gonna be the worst one since I've been alive, right? And I don't know about you, Paco, but do you think this will be the worst recession since you've been, you know, a businessman?
Probably. Yeah.
So think about that, right? So this is where I start to look. Yeah, go ahead.
No one has gone through anything like this. You know, I'm 81 years old, and you know, so I was born 39, so I was World War II. Then that whole session between 1950 and 1949, where the country was being built. You know, those are terrible times as well. But in modern times, meaning after the 60s, there's never been anything like this worldwide anywhere, other than World War II. This is worse than 1929. So some people, you know, the depression. So, but you know, that's looking at all that negative stuff. But I've told you before, there's a lot of positive stuff here. Making 10K in a couple of days on times like this, it's a miracle. So that's a very, very positive. And having somebody, you know, like Mari, who is just a genius in what he does, it's an offering to the world. You're going to do very well, even in spite of bad times. Bad times sometimes are opportunities. Bad times are opportunities. You know, you come from a lineage of creators. My understanding is that at one point your sister was your partner, and she's also a very creative person and very successful. So you're going to do all right. You're going to do all right. And we just got to find a way to keep helping and pushing and lifting you up, you know, with what you're doing. So there's somewhat Natalie Cruz. People are scared to buy online.
Yeah, I mean, so that's the thing, right? Like people are scared of touching the item. So you guys got mask and gloves as you're packing this stuff up, right?
Yeah. We're taking all the needed precautions and everything.
I got to say to Natalie Cruz that I go shopping. I go shopping with my mask. I go shopping with my gloves. I go to all these shoppers. And when I come home, you know, I take all the boxes before I bring them in, and I wipe them off, and I put all kinds of things on them. I put spray on my shoes. You know, I'm really tired of bringing disease into the house. And the fact is that Corona has a target. Corona has put a big target on people who are 60 and above. And I know that I'm a target, but that sucker is not getting me, you know.
Paco has literally gone running into the store every single day since COVID has come out. Every single day. I'm like, Paco, stop. So
we got this.
I have a question. I have a question. How are you handling this in terms of you and your family? We're talking about business, we're talking about money, but you know, the fact of the matter is that people are spiritually being challenged, psychologically are being challenged. Now I notice that you use a word that is very strong in my practice as a monk, as a Zen Buddhist teacher, and that is the word experiencing. Because most of us have been taught to be up here in our head, intellectualize, analyze. But how do we have a somatic, physical experience? And you talk about Bronx native being more than just a shirt or a design. It's an experience. And that's significantly very different than anything else. How is your experience, your own personal experience? How are you handling this with you and your family?
For me, I've been blessed that none of my family members have caught and have been affected by COVID. Um, and I think it's is in a way it's brought us closer together. Like calling each other, trying to see if everyone is okay. And just so and those are some of that you talked about. There's a lot of blessings and positive in this situation, and I always look at the positive too when there's negative situations, and I think that's one of the positive ones for humanity and just for all of us. I think it is bringing us closer. We're all going through the same struggle, and if we all have a common enemy, we're gonna stick together. You know what I mean? So I think it's brought me closer to my family and to other people, to my followers too online. I'm talking more to them. I'm interacting more with them, engaging more with them. People are on, that are online. They're in their house bored. They are craving some attention, that they're craving to connect with other individuals. And it definitely, this has had a mental strain on us and me as an individual, right? It's just like, you don't think it's gonna have this effect, but it has somehow. It's just like it's just messing with me. But you got to stay positive, you got to stay active, you got to stay tunnel vision. When it comes to experience, I think that's one of the most beautiful and incredible things you can do with anything. If you do anything and you provide an experience, especially a positive experience, and so something that is not even tangible, it's not physical, but if they see a shirt in Bronx, and it takes you back, you experience your childhood again. You experience an uncle that used to call, El Bronx, you know what I mean? I feel like that's one of the most beautiful things you can do. You know what I mean? And that's what we try to do with everything we do, with our clothing, with the content that we post, with everything we say, with and everything, because it is what it is. From the beginning, I said, you know what, we want to create an amazing positive experiences for people with what we do. So yeah, I hope that answered questions.
It does. Do you encourage? And sometimes I know that this could be a negative, but the Bronx has a lot of creative young people. A lot of creative young people. A lot of good things have come out of the Bronx County. In terms of new music, new artists, different ways of doing things. And a young lady just now came up with coming up with more hats and stuff like that. Do you encourage people to kind of send you designs and things? Because I'm sure that if you were to say, create the best design you have, you'll end up with 1,000 people sending you designs. But I always believe, I've been a firm believer of open source. Where people contribute. So that Bronx Native, you sort of said that the Bronx Native is sort of open source. I was saying to Miguel before we got in the air, I said, I bet you Mari has done more good for more people in terms of inspiring them, in terms of lifting them up, in terms of giving them good experiences than he sold T-shirts. And I said that because I went to that Bronx Museum of the Art where you had an event, and you had so many young vendors, all young, most of them. The only people that were old there were me and the guys who sold comic books. But other than that, it was young, and it was so inspiring, and there was so much energy in that room. And I said, wow, if they don't sell one T-shirt, it's fine, it's okay. But I ended up spending a lot of money.
Pago level like I had the whole so part of what I want to do is like this is called Entrepreneur Hour. You brought down a lot of information about right now having a retail business and having an online business and the GoFundMe. Let's start talking about post-COVID. Like what I want to get entrepreneurs to think about is, okay, we're in this, everybody's down, lower than they were. what happens when we get out, whenever that is, and start planning for that. So what do you think you're going to do different once you survive COVID? What are some changes you're looking to make?
Yeah, I definitely think we're all going to come out stronger, better, smarter, and better equipped after post COVID. When it comes to the online store, this is something that the world was already going towards. The digital age, technological, online e-commerce. So we're going to continue that. And it's gonna be better. After COVID, everything is good. So the e-commerce store is going to be is going to come out better. But my mindset on retail, like physical shops and rent, has actually changed. You know what I mean? Even though it's been changing a little by little, but after this, we opened up a second shop in Hunts Point and stuff like that. And I was like, I want to open up everything. I want to do this. I want to open up this. Blah, blah, you know what I mean? And now,
I was like,
to be honest with you, I'm done.
Yeah.
I am done. I don't want to open any more storefronts. I just want to stay with one flagship store, one home, but take things more virtual, more digital, pop-ups, take it, put it on wheels and all that stuff, what we were talking about before. But definitely, if I were to open up another storefront for some reason, it will have to be a really good deal. You know what I mean? It got to be crazy.
See,
but
what I think,
the next store that you open, let me see. Let me look. The next store that you open, we're gonna buy the building.
Yes.
I'm gonna help you buy the building. I'm gonna buy the building, and then the store downstairs, that's gonna be the store. But we're gonna
be the store. Yep. That's
the building is gonna have rented. We're gonna have make income from the rental.
that's how you do it.
This way, Native Bronx is never at the mercy of the landlord.
Which now,
I'm gonna put that out to the universe. I want you to ID a building that we can
afford, here first.
That we can afford, a building that we can afford in a good location.
In the Bronx.
All you people looking out in this thing, find me a building with a good location and Bronx native, and you'll get free shirts for you for a whole year.
That's how Paco works, and it works like 99.9% of the time. It works.
I love it.
So
let's do it.
So what I believe that you've done right, and maybe you view the retail location thing differently, is you may want to just look at it as event space more than a clothing shop, right? Like if you created an event space that you said, look, this is open to the community. We happen to sell Bronx native shirts here and here too, but it becomes a place where you can make money off the events. And that, I think people are going to be, right now, social distancing, who knows how long before people can be at events though, right? So I think the online event idea is great, like creating Zoom parties or whatever the hell you do. Look at Travis Scott. Travis Scott just had a concert. He had 12 million people on.
Bro, fire.
And it was crazy. I watched it 3 times. My kids made me watch it 3 times. So
that's the future.
The idea is the future is different. Because of this, we got a snapshot of the future, and we're able to say, all right, I remember this time. Let me make sure the next time this happens, because they're saying this pandemic shit is going to happen again. Hopefully it's in 100 years and we don't see it, but it could happen again. But what's definitely going to happen before that is the proliferation of automation. That's hard. Say that 3 times. Right? And when automation starts to lower the amount of jobs, which is already doing, we may see a similar look of what's going on right now for a little while until we figure it out. And that's like what Paco was saying, what happened with after the war and they were rebuilding America. It was tough times because there weren't as many jobs. There were only certain types of jobs. With automation, it's going to touch every single job. It's even touched retail. The reason Amazon can charge you less is because they're robots in their factory. They don't got to pay people. So they can charge people less. and you can't compete.
So
So
here's an idea. Here's an idea. An idea.
go.
If you want to put it on wheels, we'll buy a van. We'll figure out how to buy a van quickly. And here's our van,
On
right?
the show.
This is what we're going to do with the van. This is what we're going to do with the van. We're going to have 2 locations during the summer that we're going to go constantly to create events. 2 places. Number 1 place is we're going to identify every community garden in the South Bronx. Every community garden, starting with La Finca del Sur. La Finca del Sur is at the end of 100 of Grand Concourse and 138th Street. 2 acres.
Right
Under the bridge.
Bronx.
By the train.
We could do our first event at La Finca del Sur, but every Saturday, every Sunday, we're going to be at a different community garden. Every 24/7, we're going to be out there. We're going to do things with kids from there, right? The second event we're going to do is we're going to do it at community parks, basketball courts in the projects. The South Bronx has more housing projects than any other place in the country. So we could do community gardens.
I didn't know that.
We could do community gardens, and we could do basketball courts in the housing project. We'll use all the protocols: masks, gloves, social distancing, whatever it is. We could do all of that. We could stay with the protocol. It's all being created. And you got to send us some money to that funding thing. I'm going to put in my first $100 after we hang up. I want money. I want money. People got to send money.
Thank you.
I see money. And if there is I'm going to give a challenge. I'm going to put up $1,000. And I don't give a penny unless it gets matched 2 to 1. So for every $2 you get $1 from me. So that should come up to about $4,000 or $5,000. Let's go.
Thank you.
That's right. Love it. See, innovation, man. Innovation. It's crazy because Paco's the one who was like, I told Paco, man, this retail game, I'm really worried about what happens in a recession with companies like Bronx Native. And he was like, they need to make a van. He's like, you need a van because it kills 2 birds with 1 stone. He was like, you can do your own deliveries. Same day deliveries. I was like, man, that's genius.
That's fine.
So
people love that, man.
And for every shirt we make, we find 1 shirt that we could give to the viejitos in the nursing homes, all of viejitos to have a shirt. Viejitos love shirts like this. Look,
so Natalie just brought up a point. I text you this as soon as this COVID thing happened. I was like, you got to start making masks with Bronx on it because people are not going to want to make. They're not going to want to wear the white one. They could wear the white one under a better looking one. So you told me you're working on that. How's that going?
They're gonna say El Bronx.
Nice.
They're gonna be black El Bronx. We should have either by the end of this week or early next week. We should have our first batch. And we're gonna put them out, and we're gonna see how they do. I'm sure they're gonna do great, and then from there, do more. You know,
awesome.
I know that's gonna be people are gonna still be wearing masks after this. So
they're going to be wearing masks for a long time. They will wear masks.
I think until there's a vaccine, people are going to be wearing masks.
There's a young woman in Puerto Rico who started creating masks with la bandera, with the Puerto Rican flag. Like, this is the Puerto Rican flag kind of thing, right? We started selling them at $3, I believe. She sold hundreds of them. She has them up to $7.50, and she cannot keep up with the demand. So if people want to identify people. So you're on the right track.
We're gonna do it.
Do it. So all right. So what I like to do on the show is always try to figure out on the entrepreneur side, what are you looking for help from? I know right now you're already spoken about the GoFundMe, but on a business level, what type of people, what type of ideas, anything me and Paco can help you with outside of what we just spoke about?
Mm-hmm. At the moment, I need business people. I need people that know their finances, people that know how to look at numbers, project, calculate, look at things that are coming in, and stuff like that. You know, I've said this from the beginning. I am a creative. My background is in creative, graphic design, film, branding, and all this stuff. And I need to connect with people that complement my skill sets. And Bronx Native has become a business. You know what I mean? Even more business, quote unquote, more business than the creative. You know, I find myself doing more business related things now than creativity, which I'm not particularly too happy with, because I would like to do what I do and what I am good at. But I need to connect with people uh, um, that can complement me with that, you know, and like I said, finance people, accountants, bookkeepers, you know, people that know numbers, that know how to project, that know how to strategize when it comes to business plans and stuff like that. I got accepted to the comunista, communist. Remember the thing we were talking about?
Communitas.
Communitas. I always think
Yeah.
it's like so I'm starting that next week, and they said they'll help with stuff like that and whatever. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, I guess right now with that all this remote stuff, you got to figure out how that's going to work. But I guess at the end of the day, yeah, we've spoken about some of this projection stuff. You know, we have some people that you may be talking to, but Communitas, the more information you can understand, the better. As an entrepreneur, one of the biggest things is there's certain parts of the business you don't want other people to understand more than you, and the numbers are one of them, right? You got to make sure you understand the numbers, because that is how you will lose a business, no matter what. Even if you have people doing it, they could be not caring or stealing or whatever. So you want to make sure you understand that as the main business owner. So, okay, so that's one. What else? What are you doing about marketing? Because I know you were a huge. I used to always tell you, you're a marketing guy. You're going to all these places. You're everywhere. Everybody, you're getting awards. You're getting all this attention. You know how to do that. But now, since there's no live events, what are you doing for marketing, or what any ideas that we could brainstorm to make that happen more?
So we are right now, you know, just going heavy on Instagram, Facebook, and the social media platforms. We're about to release some more. We've been putting out some more video content so people can see. We want to bring the open mics to like virtual open mics. We're thinking about virtual concerts. So we're gonna be hitting up some artists and stuff like that, and just either be on live or Zoom and just like, you know, have them perform just how they will be performing at the open mics, but through the, you know, I was seeing American Idol. I just happened to watch the channel, like it came up, and American Idol is doing virtual. It's basically a virtual competition. They're just like we are right now. They have a light, they have a phone, and they're performing. You know what I mean? And then they're judging from the screens. So I was like, you know, we can do that. We can bring, and it looks like that's we're gonna be in this state for a minute. You know what I mean? So I think we're gonna be bringing the open mics and things that we were doing. And I think that's one of the most challenging things is how do we bring the experience of the shop, physical shop, and bring it into a virtual world, right? So that's what I'm kind of thinking about. Like, how can I create the same feelings that people were getting in the shop, but now bring it to you know, to the new normal, you know? So that's what we're working on.
That's pretty cool. That's a great idea, actually. Yeah. I can definitely help you technically on how to maybe set that up. Like, I think that's a great idea. Like the open mic thing is pretty good. People need entertainment right now. That and people that do open mics need that release right now, because that's part of their like way of coping, right? So yeah, when you ready to have one of those, let's have another one of these.
It's coming. It's coming.
Yeah. I want to.
One of the things that I've been thinking about is at this moment, Miguel and I are dealing with an issue, and that is that the summer program for youth has been canceled in the city of New York. That summer youth program, Miguel has the numbers. I think
75,000 kids.
75,000 kids. 75,000 kids are going to be out there without a job, without nothing to do. Now, there are limitations, obviously, if we keep saying, although I think New York State by summertime, by June, will be opened up a little bit more because it's beginning to open up. One of the things that is happening in Manhattan is that the mayor is starting next week by opening up 40 blocks to people walking, not cars, 40 miles, not 40 blocks. And then if that works, they're going to open up to 100 miles, no cars, people. I said to myself, coño, doesn't say that people are not going to be coming out with money. So I started thinking about, because I've been thinking about how to get these kids jobs. So imagine for a second that out of the 75,000 kids, Bronx Native develops a program where the kids can have their parents or their uncle, somebody, fund them to buy 100 shirts from Bronx Native, wholesale. And then they can sell them at enough price so they can make a profit. All of a sudden, if out of the 75,000, we just hire 100 kids, all right? 100 kids, that's what, 10,000 shirts that go out? I mean, we could become an employer of the youth. But imagine, and so we'll make money because we're not going to sell them we're going to sell them wholesale. They're going to make money and they're going to become business people. We're doing two things. We're putting kids to work. We're making them business people. We're making money. And with propaganda, all of a sudden we have 100 people out there, 100 people doing propaganda for Bronx Native.
That's fire.
Branded.
Paco always say, cut the fish in half. It could be 50 kids. It could be 25 kids. But however we do, that's a program that, man, will get you a lot of ink, plus a lot of goodwill, plus you're going to be doing good, and you're going to be doing well. You're going to be doing good, and you're going to... So you got to start thinking, how do I hire some youngsters in a way that inspires them? So they're not on commission. They're not anything else. Here, you buy this shirt. I sell it to you for X. You sell it for X. That money's yours. What you do with your money, that's your business. So that's a thought that I have for immediacy. Where we could.
That's dope. That's fire. It's like a program, and they it's something attractive that they would want to do, and they come out learning a lot of different things. You know, it's beautiful when you sell something. You know, in a way when you the art of selling it.
The guy who did this in a different business, who died last year, is the guy. I think it was from Guatemala or Ecuador. He did a coquito factory in the South Bronx by 161st Street. So all the carts that you saw selling coquitos all over, people came in and they rented the cart. So they paid for the cart, and they paid up front for all the ice cream, all the coquitos. They paid up front. So the guy had no loss. The people went out there and he sold them for X, and they sold them for X. So they were all busy. He set up hundreds and hundreds of business people doing this model. So he didn't have to think about collecting. He didn't have to think about supervising them. He didn't have to be looking whether they sell or not. If you want to go home and sleep, with your 100 shirts, you do whatever.
You ain't paying me for my.
Whatever you want to do. You want to take your coquitos, you want to let them melt, that's your business. It's the same model, and that model works, bro. I can help you with that.
That's awesome. Bro, we got to continue this conversation after this.
After the live, yeah.
Awesome.
It goes 15 more minutes, and then we'll cut it off, and we'll have a.
The last 15 minutes should be his.
All right. So what else? What else you need?
I mean, right now it's just support and stuff like that. But when it comes to post COVID and just overall, I need a team. I need people. I need mentors like you guys. I need people that know what they're talking about. You know about what I mean, and that can help me.
You may want to look into this book, because to grow a team, you need either money or to give up some equity. That's literally right. Most people are going to come help for a little while, then go if they're not really. There's no skin in the game for them, right?
I know.
So what Slicing Pie teaches you, and me and Paco have been working with many businesses on it, is it teaches you how to give people incentive if you don't have the capital to keep them incentivized, right?
I need that. Yeah, I need that.
So you should really check out that book, because to grow a team, you're gonna need followers up front where they're not in it for the money. They're in it for the long haul, and they're willing to get in there with you and battle it out till the big money gets there. And then they'll take their salaries like everybody else, right? So really check out that book, because a team definitely hard to build, but there's never been a better time to build a team. Everybody's figuring out what they want to do, right? Everybody's like, man, I really wish I started the clothing line, but now I got no job. You know what? He's doing it. Let me get in there with him. Another big thing I've been thinking about with you is, I know printing, right? That's a huge cost. So maybe partner with a printer, or I'm not sure if part of this raise is for printer, to buy a printer. Figuring out how to get a printer, which me and Paco, we've been trying to get you for a while, but it hasn't worked out.
So, bro, give me those free printers, bro. I have them in the basement.
They still have them? They still have them? They still
go down there, bro, and break in and just like finesse.
Just use them. Break in and just use them.
Unbelievable. Just down there, just chilling. Imagine me just there going ham, bop, bop, bop.
So, all right, this might be a better time, Paco, to reach out to them about this, because
out to them now. Sobro, if you're watching, you got 3 machines laying in your basement doing nothing. Let's make a deal. Let's make a deal.
All right. So we're gonna follow up on that too.
Watch somebody from Sobro calls.
All right, so we got. All right,
by the way, you know, I'm one of the founders of Sobro. I was on the founding board of Sobro.
I didn't tell you that?
I was on the committee that hired the first president for Sobro, John Patterson.
So we're walking into Sobro one day, and Paco goes, I don't know if I ever tell you this. I founded this thing. I was like, what?
It's the same thing with the Bronx Museum.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, the
founder of Sobro was a guy by the name of Mike Gill. Mike Gill, a dear friend, a wonderful man who was executive vice president of BTC, Bankers Trust Company. And Mike Gill is the real founder of Sobro. Then he put a board together. So I was in that founding board. And if you're looking Mike Gill, give me a call.
And then he did the same thing in the Bronx Museum, right? We were there. Paco was like, oh yeah, I was on the phone.
By the way, the Bronx Museum is looking for a president.
Oh,
the
yeah?
president resigned. The president resigned? Yeah, she resigned. Yeah.
Recently, right? Yeah.
Yeah, recently. Yeah, she got sick, I believe. I don't think she died. But
she just got in there.
She got in. Just got in.
Who?
That president that resigned, she just got in.
I guess about a year. Yeah. So now they're looking for somebody, and
everybody wants that job.
Yeah.
Hire locally.
Hire locally.
Hire locally.
All right. So
great president.
All right. For last 10 minutes. Any questions from the audience, first of all? But from my perspective, one of the things I've been thinking about with you, and you have done a good job of building your brand. One of the things I think about from you is right now, there's an opportunity for content creation based off the history of the Bronx. You've done a good job. Like, even I remember the Bronx Land shirt. I went in there and you explained it to me, and I was like, I bet you nobody knows that story. And then I was like, yo, you should make a video explaining that. And I don't know if it helped sales, but I think the story behind things a lot of times helps. So one of the ideas I've had for you is telling the Bronx history. Just posting a post. Did you know? Boom, 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 boom. Telling the story. And that's a post that's not ask for a shirt sale. It's not we're having an event sale. It's just information. But it's also building brand. This was a Bronx native, right? And, you know, I'm a Bronx native. I want to rep my Bronx nativeness. So I'm going to buy a shirt.
It's coming. It's
Yeah.
coming, my man. So I've realized that. I mean, I've realized that for a minute now. But the Bronx land, what was really interesting about that one was that every single person that came in, and I said the story to, they bought it, right? And I was like, damn, like it was like out of 10 people that I said the story to, like 9 bought it. And I was like, wow, there's something here. Like people want, when you connect a good story behind something and good design and just like market it that way, people are gonna buy it. So I was like, okay, this is good. I need to elaborate on this. I need to do more. And then was cool too that last week I was at Ponce Bank on Southern Boulevard, right? And I walked from Southern Boulevard to the shop here in Mount Haven. So, and I grew up during that. I grew up around Longwood, Southern Boulevard, all that area. So when I was walking, I was doing Instagram stories, and I said, hey, this rock in St. Mary's, this is the rock, blah, blah, blah. You're not from the Bronx if you didn't slide from this rock. I went, hey, this is Pitusa Bakery, blah, blah, blah. This is the history on that. This is that. And a lot of people started writing to me and started connecting to me like, oh yes, I love that place. Oh yes, this and that. And it was a little bit of like that people want to see, and now more than ever, since everyone is at home, basically bored, right? So I started chatting with one of my friends that do video work, and maybe creating something, and you guys let me know what y'all think. Maybe it's like where we go to these different hoods, because everyone is connected to their particular hood more than anywhere in the BX. So we target different neighborhoods, and it's basically like tell us about your hood, and we either interview people from that place, that have a direct connection and history with that place, and they tell us, hey, this is the chicken spot I grew up going to, this is the bodega, this is the history behind there. And then we'll make it like a vibe, like a little series, and it just Instagram, IGTV, you know what I mean? Something digestible.
But this is my thing.
Yeah.
I've been telling you this for a long time, and I believe you got to spread your wings past Instagram. Like, I think you got to start getting into the TikTok world, into more YouTube, Facebook. Your Facebook is pretty good, because Instagram right now is the hot one. But as you've seen in history, they come and they go. They come and they go. Instagram right now is reaching that plateau where you can do good on it, but you're not going to scale much unless you pay, which is fine. Maybe it makes sense to pay for advertising there. We spent advertising money with Bronx Native in different places, not really on Instagram as much as Facebook and Google, right? But I'm telling you right now, because the Bronx has so much musical history, TikTok is where you need to be. I don't know how. I'm gonna just bother you on text message till you fucking do it. That's basically it. Like, you have to figure out. It don't gotta be you dancing. You just gotta find people. Tell people to send us the video, and I'll give you a shirt, and we'll freaking make it work. I'm telling you. TikTok is such an opportunity.
I'm figuring. I've been trying to figure out. It's just that there's so many things going on, and there's so many things already that that have to be dealt with. And then now TikTok, and now this, now that, so it becomes a little bit overwhelming. But I do understand where you're coming from, and I do need to work harder to make more time.
Because my biggest worry is people not jumping to the next and getting stuck. It's like MySpace, right? Like, there are a bunch of people like, oh, Facebook is not gonna work. MySpace, right? And then people are doing that on Facebook. Instagram came along. Instagram, TikTok. It's gonna keep happening. It's just history.
People are doing it on WhatsApp.
WhatsApp is huge too.
Yeah.
There's even services now where you can buy through text message. You just say, do you like this shirt? Press 3 and we'll send it to you, and they bill your card. Stuff like that, There's all these innovations are making it easier for people to buy, but at the same time, awareness is the part of the game that you were doing really good at when we can go outside. But now that we can't go outside, the most awareness opportunity is in a TikTok, more than a Facebook, Instagram.
Yeah.
TikTok for
TikTok is an app that you put on music and you do stuff to the music, or you put up your own videos. But it's such a growing app. It's huge all around the world, China, India. The numbers, you can put up a video today, get 1 million views like that. If you
Where is it? Where's the origin from? China.
China. Yeah, and
And
This
it's
is
a
like Zoom is
combination
China.
of YouTube, Instagram, and is YouTube, Instagram, and Snapchat. It's like a combination of all.
yeah, and you see, Snapchat was hot for a while, died off, right? Instagram is still around because it stole Snapchat's fucking thunder, right? But TikTok right now, it's just I've literally been watching it for like 6 months. I've seen people go from no following to 10 million followers in 6 months, shit like that.
Damn.
That's not possible on Instagram. So
Yeah.
I guess any last ways for people to find you, anything we could put up on the site. The Bronx Native Shop is I made
Yes,
it.
Bronx Native Shop. Yes, so our website, Bronx Native Shop. Please support, please show love, buy some merchandise during these times of crisis. We have our GoFundMe, Save the Bronx Native Shop. Please donate, please support. Thank you so much to everyone that have been showing love, showing out, and making it happen. We will save the Bronx Native Shop. Thank you guys for having me on the Entrepreneur Hour, chatting with me, helping me, and brainstorming, and just inspiring me, because it's very inspiring too. You know what I mean? I hope we inspired others with this conversation, and let's continue to make it happen. We are in this together. We will rise together. We will come out stronger, smarter, better. And you already know the vibes, man.
Amen.
Real quick, can I get a
Thanks for tuning in.
No se vayan.